Before Spain sent soldiers to conquer the Philippines, they sent missionaries to document what they saw. And what they saw in the Visayas shocked them. Men whose bodies were living canvases, painted from face to foot in ink and pride. These weren't rebels. They were respected. These weren't prisoners. They were protectors. They were called Pintados, the painted ones. But those tattoos weren't fashion statements. They were stories of blood, bravery, and belief, tattooed onto skin with bone and fire. And though the Spaniards tried to erase them, the ink never truly disappeared. In the Visayas, a tattoo wasn't decoration. It was a resume, a ritual, a rite of passage. These were warriors who earned every mark through acts of valor, not vanity. The deeper and darker the tattoo, the more courageous the man. Tattoos wrapped the body like armor, telling the world, "I've gone to battle, I've returned alive, and I'm not afraid to go again." And when people asked who you were, you didn't answer with words. You took off your shirt. When Spanish explorers encountered the Pintados, they didn't just see warriors. They saw walking legends. Some men tattooed themselves from forehead to ankle, with faces inked in swirling symbols. These weren't random shapes. They were records of victories, spiritual trials, and personal strength. Some warriors even tattooed themselves after defeat, to remember the pain and return stronger. In a culture where bravery was currency, ink was wealth. And the more tattooed you were, the richer your legacy. Tattooing wasn't casual, it was sacred. It took hours, sometimes days. First came the preparation. Spiritual cleansing, offerings to ancestors, chants of protection. Then came the tapping, tuck tuck tuck, as soot ink was tapped into the skin using thorns and carved bone. The pain was real, but so was the transformation. Once the ink entered your skin, it didn't just stain the flesh, it rewrote who you were. You were now a marked man, a chosen man, a remembered man. When colonizers arrived, they saw tattoos as savage. The Spanish called them barbaric and unholy. They demanded covering up. Conversion came with cloth. The body, once a canvas of pride, was now ordered to hide. Over time, the art faded, not because it lost meaning, but because it was hunted. Still, in some islands, the old ways were protected, whispered, passed down. The ink never left the blood. It just went underground, waiting to rise again. Today, the Pintado legacy is finding new breath. Young Filipinos are reclaiming their ancestral identity, not just through fashion or festivals, but through ink. Artists are researching old patterns, reviving pre-colonial techniques, and tattooing not just for style, but for heritage. These marks, once feared by invaders, are now symbols of healing. The Pintados didn't vanish, they were just waiting. And now, they're walking among us again. The Pintados didn't need monuments. Their bodies were the monuments. They didn't wait to be remembered. They wrote their stories in ink and wore them proudly. In a world obsessed with erasing the past, these warriors did something radical. They made history permanent. So the next time someone tells you that ink is meaningless, tell them this. In the Visayas, tattoos weren't trends, they were truth.